Okay, sorry about that. I had to fix everything, and when I stopped the stream, it disabled my or ended my event on YouTube, and then I had to start it again, and then it just made a new event under entertainment without any tags or description, so I had to end it again, recreate the right event, and then go live now to what you see. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Live Coding with rabbitwerks JavaScript. My name is Sean, and let's do this. So, we're back in, well, I guess before we get it started, okay, so I got a couple cool things that I just got to show really quick because I'm proud of it. So I got my Hacktoberfest 2019 t-shirt on, so you can see the friggin' sweet graphic on that bad boy. And it came with a sweet coaster and a bunch of sweet dev stickers. And then apparently Docker turned into a shark now, so I don't know what's about that, but they also sent me a sloth. It's always kind of cool. Sloth. That's dope. I got a new rig. I want to show it off because we got the camera going, so I'm just going to do a quick little thing on that really quick. Oh my gosh, just grabbing everything and ruining everything. Okay, so, yeah, so this is the rig that we got. Pretty sweet. We got 3 RGB fans in there, but that's not what's really important. We're running a focus you AMD. Well, that's the Wraith Prism cooler, but we're running an AMD Ryzen 7 series 3800X processor running at 3.9 gigahertz base clock, and underneath that we have the piece de resistance, infamous Red Devil. So this is the Power Color Red Devil 5700 XT AMD graphics card for those who aren't aware. 8 gigabytes GDDR6 RAM, and core clock core clock sits at like 2010 for the base, and it can go way past that. So this thing is a beast, and I love it. Anyways, that's the system. We're running on a Gigabyte Aorus X570 Ultra, and then we have 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte. You can't really see it because they don't. There's no RGB and there's not enough illumination in there yet. But right over there, 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte Crucial Ballistic Sport Edition RAM, which runs at about 3200 megahertz. So, if nothing that I said just now makes any sense to you whatsoever, that's totally fine. Just know that it runs like 2.5 times faster and more performant than the previous rig. So, that being said, we got the swag in the back. Let's do this. Okay, so we're back into this thing, and what I want to do, I had to install Mongo, and hopefully everything didn't get screwed up, but I don't think it did because when I looked, it just installs to the same default port for each install. It goes to what is it? Port 27017. Ooh, excuse me. So if we look inside of our dbconnection.js, okay, so we just need to update this because the new database that I created, we pull up Robo T3. Must be a big game on tonight. Football's still on right now, but okay. So Robo T3. Unfortunately, I can't pull up or increase the font size, but yeah, localhost 27017 is what we're gonna connect to, and I guess it didn't save my collection. That's strange. I'll just make a new one then. Oop, not cancel. Right click, create database. We'll call it FSAFS dash. How did we call it? Heck did we call it? Sorry. Dash live. Oh, because I had an FSAFS for the proto, that's right. Okay, I had a different database for the proto, so we don't have to worry about that right now, but we'll just go ahead and do it. Hopefully it doesn't delete this time. did that. So let's spin up these servers, and we just need to get ourselves a new user registered. There's a couple things we got to do. So we have a bunch of stuff that we need to kind of look at more. So we have index.js that we need to commit. Where we at? Yeah, we got the res.cookie going on here. That's sending the token, and then it's setting the cookie and setting inside of that cookie token and a max age, and it's res.jsoning that back to the front end. No black magic here. If it doesn't exist, it will create it. Beauty of Mongo. Beautify of Mongo. Hell yeah. I like it. I actually, just before this, I was on the site and I was downloading the things, and it was like, hey, do you want to use Studio 3T? Because it's a lot better, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. But I didn't realize that it was a paid thing. And when I installed it and opened it, it was like, welcome to your free 30-day trial. And I was just like, oh, uninstalled. I'll stick with the basic tool. I'm not about to pay for it. I don't do nearly enough database stuff to warrant any type of paid service like that. So I just thought it was kind of funny. Like, their promotional page didn't really mention at all. It was that there was any type of paid part about it or whatever. Like, maybe I didn't look close enough, but it was just interesting. Alright, so alright, so we got a bunch of stuff in here that we need to commit, and then we also have this sweet directives.js. We're working on custom directives. If you guys were checking out the Vue.mn talk, this is the file from that. I might include it just as kind of an Easter egg or whatever, but probably will, but anyways, we'll have to push this correctly. And so we have a number of things you got to do in the front end. Mainly this right now. We got to fix the or send the result to the Vuex store to update it if we're already logged in. So this is basically verifying if we're logged in and verifying our cookie and token and whatnot. So this is gonna hit the back end for, let's see, verify right here. So if we have, if rec.user exists, then we're gonna say send it back, right? I think I need to catch up on this project. To be honest, I kind of lost the context of it because I was working on a couple of other things in the last couple weeks, so I've lost the context slightly, so we might have to relearn it a little bit, but that's alright. It is what it is. That's the beauty of it. So let's get these bad boys spun up and let's create a new user. Yeah. Alright, so I got both the client and server folders opened up on the terminal, so we can just run from that. Npm run serve. Over here is going to be npm run dev. Oh, you know what we're going to have to do? I'm sorry. We're actually... Oh, yeah, yep. Before we can do any of this, we got to go about it. Have to install everything. Let's do it for both of them then. Welcome to the stream. Say hey in chat. Alright, good to go. Alright, let's try it again. Start the dev server. It's building. That's a good sign. Oh, we got a crash here. What's going on? Interesting. I haven't come across that, but I guess it makes sense with the new computer. So we'll run npm rebuild and see what that gives us. Nope. What is the issue? Oh, bcrypt is giving us an issue. Let's node module 72. Joshua, do you have any idea about this? Do I have to update? Compiled against a different node.js version using 67. This version of node requires 72. It's an error. I'm sorry, I can't read it when it's that small. Or that large. Let me scroll up here. Oh, it's not gonna give me anything. So it's crashing on, what was it, bcrypt. Let's try reinstalling bcrypt. What version of Node am I running? I'm not sure. Let's see. 12.13.1. This may be just a hackathon to get my computer working, people, so don't hold your breath. Spelled it wrong. That's how you get viruses and backdoors into your code, by installing the wrong packages by a typo manifestation. What the heck, dude? Python is nuts. Alright, this is going well. Alright, let's see. Yeah, npm I bcrypt. Alright, let's try this. npm I node jip -g. So this is apparently some sort of interface for Node to communicate with Python files, I guess. Oh, I don't have it installed yet. Let's try running it though, just to see if that package helps. Nope. I don't understand that though, because I didn't have Python installed when I started this project, so I've never had to have Python installed to use this package. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of investigative research here. Okay. Might have to switch over to the bcrypt node.js library. I'm on this thread right now, and it says that a bunch of people are having this issue. So this has kind of got the most upvotes and shit, or stuff, so I'm sorry. It's not the same API. You'll need to update your code. Right, for hours, finally worked. Alright, let's just do that. Scrizzle it. We'll have adjustments. You need Python 2.7, it seems. Oh, we could just install Python, I guess. I mean, but most people, I guess people watching this won't have Python installed necessarily. In conjunction with. I don't even have it downloaded yet. Okay, let's just go about trying to switch it over to the npm bcrypt.js. If I remember correctly, let's just check that out to be sure. Bcrypt.js. npm bcrypt.js. Okay. Okay, so this is compatible to the C++ bindings. That's pretty cool. I like that. Does it come pre-installed? Bcrypt. How is the Ugh, crap. We're gonna have to change a bunch of stuff. It's fine. Whatever. Alright, so we'll install this. I'm gonna use the restroom really quick because all this excitement has gotten my bladder full, so to speak. See if it works. Oh, it worked! Amazing. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, cool. So now that we have that installed, let's see. Okay, bcrypt is right here. Let's take a look and see where we're using it, just so we can make a comparison to the documentation API documentation. Backwards, sorry. bcrypt.hash, and it takes. First argument is the what it needs to hash, and then the salt rounds. Okay. So if we compare that to the documentation here, all the big fonts. Okay. Let me get a word wrap there, George. Hannah Wagner. Thanks for downloading Studio 3T. Oh wait, why do all my email notifications have to show up as soon as I start live streaming? I don't understand that. And let me get a word wrap on this. So now we can see it, and let's see. Let's scroll down here and take a look at the docs. Require it. Web crypto API, huh? Let's see. Salt rounds. Salt sync 10. Okay, so we're gonna have to do that. Hash sync. This must be the password. Yeah. Pair sync. Async. 10. Function salt error salt. 10. Where's that come from? I am crashing hard from work, dude. I'll have to watch the VOD. Have a good night. Alright, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit. It doesn't seem like too many people are tuning in tonight, so I'm not gonna drag it out too long. I'm just gonna see if we can get this going. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support, my dude. I will catch you on the flip side, alright? Alright, let's see. Okay, so if we want, we need to do the async. So gen salt, we pass in the rounds. The seed length should be the seed length is function rounds, number of rounds to use, defaults to 10 if omitted. Seed length not supported. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, so that's for salting the rounds. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so what we want to do, we'll probably just run. Don't need a progress callback. We just okay. So we'll do the hash function here. So what this is saying is essentially it's going to take in, well, potentially up to 4 parameters, arguments. First parameter is going to be the string that we're going to hash. The second parameter will be the salt rounds, so the number of times it's going to rehash it or whatever. That means I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And then the callback. And then I guess if there's a progress callback, it'll callback successfully called when the percentage of rounds. Show me? Have completed between. I don't know. We don't need to worry about that. That's not within the scope of this project or complexity. So let's go through and refactor this out to use bcrypt.js. So we'll just do bcrypt.js just like that. Salt rounds is 10. That's good. We can keep that like that. So we're going to scroll down to here. How come you don't use sync? Well, because I want to do it asynchronously so I can get a promise in return. Otherwise, we'll just have a call. We'll have like have to put it inside of variables or whatever like this, and that's not necessarily as ideal as being able to just do something like this and then get a callback function to work with either an error or yeah, async. Yeah, I'm going to be using async. Sorry, I thought you said async. My bad. So yeah, so this is the async. Happened. Not compare. I don't want to compare right here. So yeah, this is the async function for generating a hash with a salt all in one kind of thing. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Voice Atlas. Okay, so down, up, down, here. Okay. Alright. Might actually not even need to change much of this because that looks like it'll work. So what we're gonna do with the async await is once this project is done, we're gonna go through and refactor it to use async await because up until this point we've been just using promises, and we'll show the process of refactoring to async await when we're finished with the actual code of the project. That's a whole thing that we'll be doing. So, but yeah, exactly. Async await is a lot easier way to do it once you understand how it works. It's kind of confusing to somebody that hasn't really used it before, but it's all good. Well, okay, so what we need to do before we can go any further, honestly, is I need to get a user created. So I'm going to pull up the front end and the back end. I don't know if this will run. It should, but we'll see. Okay. Cool. Listening on 1337. Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming back and checking out the channel. I think what I'm actually going to be doing going forward now that I'm been getting into more video production stuff is I'll be doing I'll be losing my train of thought. That's what I'll be doing. No, I'm going to be doing videos, actually edited, edited videos and stuff like that versus just doing live streams. I think that'll be a nice way to get some more content out without necessarily having to commit to a long live stream because I don't really have all the time in the world to spend coding at the moment. Well, coding like this kind of stuff. So I think what we will be doing is getting some edited videos out and some series and stuff going forward. So that'll be really cool. So anyways, let's go to this thing and take a look at the project. Let's get some stuff up. Localhost 8080. We're in FSAFS. Let's log. Oh, we actually need to register. So I'll do. I don't have autocomplete on this. Son of a gun. rabbitwerks@gmail.com. Send me your suggestions. ASD123, ASD123. Alright, let's see if this works. Let's open up the dev tools just to make sure. And tonight we're working in Mozilla DevTool, or Mozilla Firefox, I guess, apparently. Which is fine, because it's good. Oh, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate it. You rock. Don't save. Okay. Wait a second. What did we get? Uh-oh. Oh, it says Happy Halloween. Firefox can't establish a connection to the server at socket. Connection to was interrupted while the page is loading. Looks like it worked though, because we got our token back. We got our username and our user class. So it's working. Wonderful. Let's try and log in. Rabbit and ASD123, best password in the world, and it works. Oh, that is awesome. We don't even have to do anything and it still works. Well, kind of, I guess. I should probably boost the font on this. What I want to do, that really, all we had to do is just import that. That's freaking sweet. That never happens to me. Alright, so let's clean up our, I'm going to open up a new terminal here just so we have a little bit more room to work with. We're going to go ahead and clean up our packages a little bit since we're not using some of them. So, cd into server, because that's where we're at the moment. Let's see, package JSON. So, we can remove bcrypt here. And we also don't need cookie parser, because Express comes with its own parser. We just have to call it. Wait. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought Express had its own parser, but apparently we decided to use a package. So we'll leave that in there. Whatever. So let's go through here. We can just say npm spell it right. Try one more time. Third time's the charm. Alright, cool. Uninstall bcrypt. Jeffrey McHale. What's up, buddy? How you doing? We are working on, we're finishing up that FullStack Auth from scratch. I've been just trying to get stuff reworking because I got this whole new rig going now, so it's been alright. But we finally got it working, and well, it's working like a charm, so. So here's the thing that will really test it. So if I close out this tab, I should be able to re-log, or not log back in, but I should be logged in still. So let's log in. Brings us to the dashboard. We don't need to save that. If I open this tab, close that, and if I go to localhost/dashboard, hopefully. Oh, okay, so we're not persisting yet. We're not verifying. So that's what we need to be. That'll probably be the next step in the process once we get. Let's see, so we need to look at the verify. Oops. No, I don't want to do that. Login, router.get verify is logged in. Alright, so this is where I need to kind of figure out what was going on again. Chaos. It's logged in. If sent return. If okay, so that's working. Okay, so we need to let's see. Token verify, that works. Okay. If error, we're gonna throw a new error. We're gonna have to next the error on that as well. pretty good. Trying to figure out child themes in WordPress so I can get website for my church built and hopefully deploying this weekend. Cool, dude. Working with PHP. Looks like you're slowly gaining some momentum on here. Yeah, I've been getting some good subs. I think cutting out the music and not demonetizing all of my videos has really helped my traffic. Go YouTube. Anyways. Alright, so passing the error in there. Decoded. Is this run? Let's take a look at the web browser really quick. We have a token in there. Cool. So what we need to do is, so we have cookie.sent, res.cookies.token, token secret, and decoded is the callback function. Else decoded, console log decoded. Okay, so that was dumb. I need to go back to the front end. Look and see where this is getting called at. So right here, so when the app mounts, it should fetch it. Console log result. On the back. Okay, that's why I always get confused because I don't see it in the browser terminal when I am looking at console logs on the back end because it shows up in the terminal. Alright, so let's just run this through one more time. I'm going to look at both terminals so I can see what's going on. I'm just going to bring it all the way up at this point in time. Like that. And let's just give ourselves a refresh. Okay, so what do we got here? We have, this is the console log of the decoded, essentially, of our, oh, look, wonderful, it has our password in there. So we should probably not be doing that. I have to double check on that. Look at everybody, it's the hashed password of ASD123. Isn't that pretty neat, though? Cookie exists. Okay, so that's all working. Everything is working as planned, but we need to finish this. Okay, so we never finished it on the previous point, or previous stream or whatever. So let's start by taking a look at this issue here. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want that going on. Yeah, so rec.user equals null if rec.user equals user. Okay, so this is, okay, to do clean out sensitive props. So we have our to do. I need to actually install some what's the extension for like having inline to-do lists and stuff? If anybody knows, let me know in the chat because I'll download. I mean, I could probably just go like this actually. To do tree, file extension. God, I cannot read it when it's this big. Just can't. Give me an example. I want to see the code. Dang it. To do can be simplified. Yeah, something like this. No. It's error somehow. 143. Oh, I'm definitely gonna do that one. Or we'll just go with this one. Screw it. So it's got a bunch of tags. To do, fix me. Where's the tags? Close. We don't need, oh, look at that. It already did it because I already have that going on. Nice. That's cool. I like that. Alright, so we need to, instead of just setting rec.user as the user from the database, we need to clear out some sensitive properties inside of that object. So we will say, we just want to send back the only two properties that we're sending back when we log in successfully, which is our user class and our username. Because if we want to update stuff, I mean, in theory, I guess we could send back like the first name and stuff like that, just so it could be a little bit more personalized. We'll probably actually switch over to do that, just so it sends back, you know, the first name, so it can be like, welcome, Sean, or welcome, Jeff, or welcome, voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be cool. But we don't want to send back super sensitive information. Like, we don't really even need the email unless you need it for your use cases. We don't need the blast name. We definitely don't need the hashed password. Alright, so if we needed to end up changing anything like that, we could do one, like I had stated in previous streams or whatever. It's just like we would write an API route on our back end that we could hit for editing information, updating our user information, and then in tandem write the UI on the front end to be able to access that stuff. So when we access the edit information, it can make a call to our database and pull all that information that might be otherwise sensitive into our client, so we can update it and then send it back off to the back end as updated information and post it. Well, I guess it would be update, but well, no, put. I don't know, whatever, who cares, but it doesn't matter. So for now, we're just gonna clear this stuff out. We don't want that, and we will just we're, instead of just saying user, we're just gonna give it an object, and we'll just say user, what is it, username. It's going to be user.username, and then user class is going to be equal to user class, just like that. Cool. Now what this should do is what we wanted it to. Alright, so let's give ourselves a testaroni here. Minimize that. Let's give ourselves a refresh. Since we have that cookie in there, we don't have to do anything more than just give it a refresh. Open up that. Let's take a look at our console and see what's going on there. Oh. Yeah, okay, cool. So look at, so before we had all of this sensitive information here. Well, you know what? We actually need to send back the ID. I forgot about that. We're not sending back. So let's add that in really quick. The ID is something that gets generated from, so we'll do underscore ID because that's the convention. When this stuff gets generated in the browser, in the console, or anything like that, it gets generated in alphabetical order. So what you can do, what you'll see a lot of the times is this ID with an underscore in front of it, or variables with an underscore in front of it, because these special characters get higher or lower priority, whichever way you want to look at it, as far as like the alphabetical order of it. So these symbols come before A. So you know what I'm saying? So no matter what happens, these underscore property names are going to populate at the top of the list. So that's kind of the only reason why people do that, just in case you were wondering. So we'll do user._ID. So this right here is what gets generated when we add any type of entry into our collection on MongoDB. It's a randomly generated unique string that we can use to target that individual entry. So it makes working with stuff a lot easier, because you can just check in MongoDB against something like an ID to see if something exists. You know what I mean? So it can be a lot easier than trying to, like, okay, we need to find the username of this, and it's got to have this first name and whatever else. You know, I don't know. It just makes it easier. So we're gonna make sure we include that, and let's just give ourselves a refresh one more time, just for good measure, and pull up the console and look at that. We got our ID, we have guess it already sends kind of. This is the must be like the decoded. Let's actually clear that out. We don't need that here. Yeah, that's coming from this right here. Don't need that because we know it's working. All right, cool. So if we take a look, we got our ID, which is coming from Mongo. We got our username, rabbit, and we got our user class. Wonderful. So, and then if we take a look back at the front end, the console, you can see that it keeps spamming this. Well, not really spamming it, but it's sending this back, logging this. This this call to our backend server gets called whenever app.vue mounts. So whenever it calls the mounted lifecycle hook, initially, like, so it'll run through the created lifecycle when this is like the main component for Vue, right? App.vue. So when this main container component that holds our entire application inside of Vue world or whatever, if you will, gets mounted, it's going to reach out to our backend and hit this verify route to make sure and check and see if we have a cookie there and verify it against. If we have a cookie, we're going to verify it against this stuff on our backend in the database, and like we have been doing, send back the correct information. Or if that's not available, we'll send back something that says no, or it just logs back the error or whatever. So, all right, cool. Let's see what do we got here. Okay, so what I want to do, I think, we'll wrap it up pretty soon. At this point, we're getting to the hour-long mark. Is we're just gonna save this verified information in Vuex or whatever. So let's go to our front end. We can close that. We can file browser. Let's minimize the server. We don't need to work in here anymore. We'll open up app.vue. Okay, so right here is where we're getting that console log, right? So oh, hold on one second. All right, sorry. Somebody had to ask me a question. Anyways, what's up, Pratik? My boy, the nerdy dev, has joined us. He might have been gone already. I don't know. I don't know how accurate these and up to date these concurrent viewer things are and stuff. One thing says 4, the other one says 2, one thing says 5, whatever. Anyways, welcome to the stream, the nerdy dev. If anybody wants to check out some really awesome tutorials on a lot of different topics, JavaScript, going in depth on a lot of different topics and covering his bases quite well, if I do say so myself. And production quality is going up and up and up with every video that he releases. Go ahead and check out the nerdy dev in the chat. Really good stuff, yeah. A whole wide variety and plethora of topics on JavaScript and web development. So kudos to you. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Okay, so sorry about that. So we need to put this into Vuex, right? I'm going to pull up the store here. Let's actually split screen this. We can minimize this. We don't need to look at anything else. So we have our user object here. What I think we should probably do, though, is we should probably add in those extra fields just in case. because now that I think about it, even if we do add like edit information kind of feature, we won't need to have the hashed password on the front end at all. Like, that's not going to happen at all. If I said that earlier, I was not thinking clearly. Because what we just will do is we'll take the plain text password, so it'll be like, okay, I don't even know if we're going to go this far, but in theory, in stretch, this is how we would do it or whatever. We have, okay, we're going to change our password, and we have current password, new password, and confirm new password or whatever. We'll take the current password, plain text, send it to the backend. We'll take all the text, plain text, send it to the backend. We'll run that through the hash. If the current hash matches the hash in the database, we will be able to update the database password hash with the new hash, as long provided that the new and the confirm match, obviously. But then we would just update that and send off the old hash into the ether, and good to go. So that's how you would do that. Yeah, okay, enough talk. Let's send this in. So what we want to do is first name, and then it'll just be an empty string, and last name, and that will also just be an empty string, apparently, and email, and that will also be an empty string. Just so we have this in our user object inside of Vuex. Just so we have our options available to us, so we don't run into it down the road, and it's just like first name and last name and email do not exist. What are you trying to do there, George? I don't know. I'm just doing it. Just doing it. Okay, so well, I think this is actually might override it at this point. So what we'll probably have to do is, instead of just doing like a blanket statement like this, we'll have to do it individually, because we just want to update username, ID, and user class. These will be for, even though that adds a little bit of work to our oh, not really. It all runs through that function, so we're good. Mutation. Because we're working in Vuex at this point. So the way Vuex works for a crash course is we get something sent to the store. We have actions that get called. So we'll call an action from our main Vue app, and that will essentially take and do some sort of operations on our data, whether it be synchronous or asynchronous. The main beauty of working with actions is that you can write, excuse me, asynchronous code, i.e. promises and stuff like that. Whereas in mutations, you can't write asynchronous code. So actions is where we do the bulk of the thing, process of the data and whatnot, and then we send it over to the mutation to be committed to the store. So we commit an action, or we call an action to commit a mutation to state. We commit some sort of like change to state. So if you want to learn more about Vuex in more entirety, I have a whole Vue Basics course. I think it's episode 10 that we start looking at Vuex. I could be mistaken. It could be 10 or 11. 9, 10, or 11. So go ahead and check that out if you want. We go into depth on how Vuex works and stuff like that. It's kind of complicated when you look at it from an outside world, but then once you kind of figure out how to work around the ecosystem of Vuex, it works pretty well. I like it a lot. I prefer using Vuex as my de facto state management, just because of how well it works and how simple it is once you understand it. And even if I'm writing a React app or something like that, even write React code, I'm gonna dang well better expect that I'll be pulling in the React Vuex bindings for sure. So, audio stream's current bitrate is 0. Are we crashing? What's going on? Oh no! We got 3 notifications. I don't think this is very accurate because I'm talking. Here, this is the one I want. Now I have like 5 channels that I need to, or events that I need to delete. 3 notifications. Alright, cool, we're good. Sorry, I just needed to check on that. Scooby bop and dot up. Okay, so right here we're going to run. We're actually going to just run this because what we want to do is if we get to response.json, so we'll have to just I keep thinking. So what we want to do is see, let me just pull this up really quick. So this gives us an object. So user, if result.user, result.user. I'm not I don't think this is. Oh, we'll just, I'm sorry. Okay, so dot catch. So if any errors happen, we'll just catch it and console log the error for now. We're gonna have to go through and do some error handling after the fact. So we have some like UI error handling kind of stuff. So we'll see how long this project goes. We're just gonna keep rocking with it at this point. I don't really care. So we don't want to console log result. What we want to do instead is we're going to run this action. So instead of pulling in actions as helper functions, we'll just run it inline. So we'll say this dot $store. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. This dot $store dot dispatch. And this will allow us to call an action individually just by passing in the string of the name. Temp. I'm sure everybody is looking at the Game Awards that's going on right now. The Game Awards. Or like, I'm not getting into it. Sharpie 360 if you want to check out some gaming content of mine. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Not trying to bleed the waters together, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're going to run this action when we mount to the app. And, well, if we run through this and we get a proper response back, we'll see what happens. I think we might have to do some if then else kind of bullcrap, but, well, stuff, but we'll just see what happens now. So let's head back to the front end. Unable to process request. Response error. Alright, I'll bite. What's going on here? Unprocessable entity. Oh, looks like we won't be able to actually do that. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Wait a second. Come on, quit. That's so silly. Doing that. Oh. I get what's going on. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm sorry. What we need to do is just write a new action really quick that basically just calls this mutation. I mean, technically we can call this mutation inline without bypassing the action, but it's generally not recommended to do that because if you do that, then it's it's just not recommended. When Vuex, the new rendition or revision of Vuex comes out to match Vue 3, they're going to be combining actions and mutations, but for now we're just going to follow it. I mean, you can call mutations, but it's better to call an action to call a mutation because then you have more control over what's going on, in my opinion. Do what you want. I don't care. All right, so what instead of calling this attempt login, we're going to write a new action. So underneath register user, we will say pretty sweet. Dropped me frames. I do like that. I do like that. I do like that. What's going on here? Oh, jeez. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Let's see what's going on here. So we need to write a new action to verify. So we'll just do verify user underscore action because that's how I like to differentiate between which are actions and which are mutations. You don't really necessarily even have to do that because you know Vuex, you know what you're doing. But I like to do that, especially if you have like two things. A mutation or I'm sorry, an action and a mutation that have the same name. You could do verify user, and that would be an action, and then you'd run a mutation that's called verify user from this verify user action. And at that point, you kind of get confused on what's going on where, and I like to suffix it as underscore action or whatever because it just helps me keep things a little bit more precise. So we'll run that. This is going to get, well, the context object, but instead of context, we only need the commit function out of the context object. So we'll just destructure that out of there as such. And then we have our payload, which is our second property, which automatically gets added in. So in this case, what we will be having as a payload, if we look here, well, we'll have to pass it in, right? So result, but this won't be. This isn't going to be attempt login. It's going to be verify user now. Or I could just say verified user. Verified user. Cookie login. That's what I'm going to call it because I want it to be a little bit more explicit and more explanative on what this is doing. Verify user doesn't really tell us too much, so how's the font size? If it's too big, let me know. I can drop it down. It is too big for me, but if the mobile audience needs it like that, then I'm totally down to you know, accommodate. But I just need my friggin' word wrap. Come on, keep it on, please. Every page needs that word wrap if it's gonna be this big. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So we got payload. Well, that's the wrong thing actually. There we go. Let's finish this. I am getting so distracted. I do apologize. It's all good though. Comma. So what we want to do here is essentially we're just going to pass it through. So we'll say commit verified user underscore. What did we call it? Oh my gosh. Such a scrub right now. I'm sorry. Come on. Okay, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. It's screwing me up. Come on. Can I have word wrap, please? Word wrap. That's all I want. Word wrap. It's actually a little bit easier. Okay. Cookie login. Score action. And then the second parameter that we're going to pass in, we're just going to pass through the payload just like that. And so let's go. Oop. It's not action, it's going to be muta, because it's going to be a mutation. So we'll write that up here, right underneath update store user logged in muta. So we'll do verified user underscore cookie login, and then it'll be underscore muta underneath that, and then we'll have state as the first argument, and then our payload. Okay, cool. And those both get implicitly passed in. State referring to this object right here, and payload referring to whatever the heck this is right here. That gets passed in from that right there. Cool. So that's how that works. And all we want to do inside of here is do the you know what? Actually, instead of doing that, we could probably just call this muta mutation from that thing. This action, the verified user one. Let's see what happens when we do that. Because if we can get away with just using the same mutation, we're dang well gonna do that. Oops, sorry. Really? That's the tags it gives me? Are you kidding me? Can't win everything. Oh, the greatest bane of my existence. I tell you what, I should have spelled works with an O. Okay. So, let's see, we're running that from here. Let's just see if this works now. Okay, so apparently, let's open up a new tab and see what happens here. So, if we go to localhost 8080, that should bring us to the main. Boom! It worked. Yes. We did it. Excuse me. Throat as cloggy as ever. Alright, cool. So we got that. We should probably get rid of these buttons when we're logged in. Just have like a dashboard and dashboard and logout button. That would be cool. So what we could do essentially, let's see, this and open up our components. Item, navbar main. Okay. Let's close this stuff out. We don't need to look at that at the moment. This right here, these two items right here could totally change if we're logged in. So what I'm thinking is that we can do that. We'll put this in a sort of like just a div or whatever. We'll put those two inside of a div. We'll put the other two inside of a div, and they'll be. Well, wait a second. We don't need to. We'll just have one, and then the other one will be a button that looks like navbar item, and that gets the same styles as it, so it aligns in the menu bar properly, and that will just be a logout thing. So. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go about doing that. So first thing we gotta do is well, we obviously need to import some state from Vuex. We need to get our is logged in. This is really, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go and send the first name back with everything as well. Just so we have that, we can personalize it slightly. I think that would be pretty neat, to be quite honest. Token send response. We don't need to do the whole user in here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna keep that the same because user at that point is just what it should be. So verify, that's good. This is login. So this first name is user dot first name. User dot first name, just like that. And we'll do the same thing for the register because we want the first name as well on the register. So we can copy that and just dump it in there as such, like that, and wacky dacky dacky. So let's see, index, we'll just put it in here as well. Alright, so we have the first name being sent back in all instances from our backend. So open up this. No, the main, I'm sorry. We need to bring in our user object from, well, do we want to display the username or the name? We'll probably just do the name for now. So what we need to do, well, we could change it out. We could have a toggle. I mean, if we had a settings page, but we're not going to go that far. Stop thinking so far ahead, rabbitwerks. You're going to get yourself into a hole you can't get out of. Just stop. All right, let's see. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Make sure to say what up in the chat. I really appreciate having a comment or two. What do you think? You like my theme? Okay, so let's see. How do we want to do this? So components, we have that. We'll do. All right, so we're gonna have an is logged in. I don't think that's gonna work, but we could try it. I don't think it would be reactive. We can definitely take a look though. That'd be interesting to find out. Let's see. Inspect element. Oh god, these colors. Come on. Dark. There we go. Wonderful. Crap, we don't have Vue dev tools on Mozilla. Okay, we're gonna have to switch over to Google, and I am so sorry for that. Here, go to localhost. Boost up the fonts. Too much, apparently. Happens to the best of us, right? Alright, so let's take a look. So we're not logged in, we don't have the cookie in this. Screw it, we're just gonna do full screen. So everybody can see. And okay, so we don't have the cookie in here. If we go to memory, or apparently it's in applications on this browser. Okay, so oh jeez, excuse me. We don't have any cookies sent, so let's try logging in really quick. So our username is rabbit and the password is ASD123. Hit enter, we logged in, we got our cookie set, and you can see the value of it there. It's got the nice old token and whatnot. So football game must be over. Tune in. God dang. Cool. So let's take a look at our Vue dev tools and see if that actually reflects in our dashboard information. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. Okay, so it's not really reactive in that way. So what we need to do is just we're gonna set some computed properties. So computed, open that up, get the comma there, and we'll say is logged in, and then in this one we need to, jeez, oh my lord, I think this is how we're gonna do it. I'm a little rusty, don't blame me. I've been doing so many things, I'm so confused. Screw it. Return this dot $ store dot state dot is logged in. Okay. So now we pull up the Vue dev tools. Is that going to give us the result that we want? Okay, so that's true. And if we clear out the token and give ourselves a refresh, there we go. Now we're logged out. Let's take a look at Vue. And boom! Yes, we did it! Yes! Alright, sweet. Alright, the next part we're going to do is bring in our computed property. for our users. So we'll just comma after that, and we'll say user, just like that, you know, super verbose, which is fine. And we'll just return, return this dot $store dot. I guess this would be a use case that we could potentially bring in the helper function for state, saying like or map state helper function or whatever. But I think since we only have two things that we're bringing in, it's not really necessary to go about it in that route, because this is a little bit more precise. Not is logged in. What are you doing, user? Okay. Cool. So with that in there, we should have our user object in our Vue app. Let's take a look and see if it's there. Well, it won't be until we log in again. So let's go ahead and log in, and we'll just say SD123 log in. I'm going to not add that to last pass. Navbar main. Cool. So we have everything there. Wonderful. So now what we can do is, when this is true, we will dynamically generate a different set of navbar items. So I have no idea what's happening, but nice. Are you a developer? Do you want to learn Vue? I got a sweet, really easy to follow Vue Basics series. It's like 13 episodes long. We go from the beginning all the way through up until like the Vue router. So definitely check that out if you want to learn Vue in my style, I guess you could say. So it's cool. I'm going to use the restroom really quick, and we'll be right back to some more coding. We're going to get this stuff finished up. So don't go anywhere. Stay awesome. Keep coding. We'll see you in just a second. All right, so we're back. I had a question in the chat from Voice. He said, you ever mess with Nuxt? And unfortunately, I haven't had any experience using Nuxt. Actually, I think that's going to be one of the next projects that I work on the live stream. We need to get some Nuxt experience. Need to get that going because it's so cool. Server-side rendered Vue. It's a lot of fun. So definitely on my priority list to maybe we could actually do that for. Well, I guess I don't know. The thing with edited videos is that you really have to know what you're talking about, otherwise you just seem like an idiot. So that's why I like doing live streams, because it's just like The real coding. Come on now. Anyways, but yeah, Nuxt is definitely on my radar for sure. I want to see kind of what happens with Nuxt and Vue 3 and that whole thingamabob. Vue 3 is super cool. We've done a couple of features on that. Not too much, but I think that's one of the channels. That's one of the series that I want to bring to everybody as like one of those video edited series. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, so this is, turn that off before I get discredited for stuff. This is my Vue basic series. I'm gonna share it in the chat so anybody can take a look. Cool. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we'll finish up this navbar and see where we go from there. So now that we have our information in here from our Vuex store, we can do a little bit of some neato-toledo stuff. So what we're going to do here, we can actually just cut that out for the time being, and then we'll just don't really need to give these any classes because, well, I'm just going to give it one class. Not logged in, we'll just say logged out. Just so I know, kind of, as a reference point, it's almost like a note, a mental note. Not necessarily that we'll use the HTML class or anything like that in CSS, but having that mental note to kind of know what it is. Like, that's why I have navbar outer and, like, kind of some unnecessary classes at times, but it helps me kind of keep notes versus having, like, comments everywhere, because comments kind of get lost and end up causing more harm than good when it comes to HTML and stuff like that. As far as JavaScript, that's a different story, but yeah. Okay, so in here we're going to repaste in our navbar items, fix our indentation because Vuex or VS Code is just like, no, we can't do it. Alright, so we're going to put in another div here. It's just going to be an empty div. We'll just give it a class of logged in, just like that. We'll make sure we do kebab case for the HTML stuff. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here is put our navbar, well, dashboard link. So navbar item. Can stop holding the shift buttons for so long. That would be great. Self-closing tag. If I can hit the shift bar. Oh my goodness. My fingers don't want to work very well tonight. That's alright. Okay, so the text is a prop that we're passing in, and that will be the capital dashboard. That will be what's displayed on the actual thingamabob. You know, this is a good case for using Vue filters, because we're passing in essentially the same thing for two different props, when we could just take either the text prop and lowercase it all and pass that in as the route thing. Here, check this out. So we have two things here. We have a text prop and we have a route prop. They're essentially the exact same thing, except the text prop has a capitalized letter on the front. So what we're going to do is write a filter. We'll just pass in the route. We can delete the text prop, and we'll just add the filter in here to capitalize the first letter. I think we've already written the capitalized filter in previous series before, so that should be a walk in the park. But this is one of those examples where using a filter in Vue would be very, very helpful, because look at this. There's no difference other than the fact that the first letter is capitalized on text, just so it displays like that. We could even just use the text, and instead of writing a filter, we would just use we'll just take the text and just lowercase it, but which I think we're gonna do. So let's just finish this really quick. All right, route. This is kind of redundant at this point, but it's all good. So we have dashboard, apparently. Dashboard, just like that. And what I need to do now is actually write a navbar item that I guess we don't need to. We could just do it in a navbar item. Let's just do that. All right. Excuse me. We don't need to write a separate button. Whoops. No, don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Excuse me. How's everybody's nights going? Let me get a thumbs up in the chat if you're having a good night. Oh my god, these burps, dude. Can't deal with it. And so the route for this one is actually going to be I'm so confused on what I want to do. I'm not confused, but like I just text logout, route, logout. I don't know which one I want to use. I don't know if I want to use the text or if I want to use the route. I feel like I want to use the route and use a filter because route is more explicit to where we're going, but at the same time, I'm not sure because this one right here is throwing me off ever so slightly. Because what this is going to do is it's going to log us out and it's going to redirect us. So we might not even. Thumbs up in the chat. Thanks, bud. We might not even need to. Sorry, let me just think for a second. Console.log, happy Halloween. Let's change that to Merry Christmas. Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I think that's how you spell it. Happy friggin' holidays. Bruh. Can't forget our apostrophe. No, we can't do that because it's... Oh, we can do that because we can just escape it like that. Screw you, JavaScript, regular expression stuff. I don't know. Anyways, starting to get off topic here big time. Excuse me. I'm getting caught up on this route for the logout thing. I'm just trying to think about what I want to do for it because it could go. We see the issue is that if we want to use this component, we don't have a route necessary. Well, we do have a route, I guess. Actually, we'll just go. But then that screws up. That's what I'm saying. It screws up the whole thing because then I can't simplify this into two things or one thing, one property, one prop. Oh, I need some chapstick. I'm sorry. pain. Pain in my lips. We had a cold snap of like a negative 10 degrees the last 2 days, and my lips are just like destroyed from it. Oh, my whole body is destroyed. I'm so dry and itchy. It sucks, but whatever. You know, that's first world problems, I guess. Okay. So we have that. Alright, we'll just work with it for now. So what we need to do next is add our vif directives for our actual div wrappers. So we'll say vif, and this is basically like an if statement, inline if statement in HTML because of the view directives and stuff like that. So based on the condition of this expression that we pass into the quotes here, it's either going to render or not render onto the page whatever is inside this div. Okay, so what we want to do is logged in. Well, actually, no. If not, is logged in. And then for the secondary div down here, we're going to do, well, we will scaffold it out in the same way, just like that. And we will just simply enter velse. Velse doesn't take any expression argument or anything like that because it's essentially the 100% caveat or opposite action of if this if expression evaluates to false, it will automatically go to whatever this velse is on. Lotion, son. I know. Oh, you sound like my ex. Don't say that. I need to get some. I'm not prepared for winter. I'm not. Cool. So that actually should work. Dashboard logout. So here's the thing. We need to do a little bit more processing in this navbar item. So what I think we'll do is navbar logout and just duplicate the, instead of like trying to make it all work inside of one component, we'll just make a new one in this folder, and we'll just call it navbar logout. .view, and this we'll just essentially copy this whole thing and work from here. So we have the route, we have the text, but at click is navigate view. So inside of here, we will have to before we push the new route to the router or whatever to be accepted, what we're gonna have to do is ocean. We're gonna have to clear that cookie. So how do I target the cookie? Whoa, I'm drawing such a severe blank. Target cookie. You think that's gonna give me a cookie ad for target.com? Target cookies in browser. I can't remember. Oh, how to target visitors based on browser cookies. Delete the target cookie. That's not what I want. Delete cookies, Chrome. No, that's not what I want either. JS. Cookies in JavaScript. Set, get, delete. Alright, cool. This is what I want. Alright. document.cookie. Okay, that's what I want. Document, not window. Okay, I couldn't remember that. Document.cookie dot token. Jeez, did I close that web page? Oh no. Clear cookies. Yes. These sweet shirts that they totally photoshopped onto this chick. It's so bad. That's the worst. This black to the red right there, that's just terrible. Come on. It's like, obviously the chick is in the exact, you didn't even have a model. No, you're getting off topic, Sharpie or rabbitwerks. See what I'm saying? This isn't rant time. This is supposed to be PG and like non-opinionated and stuff. I don't know. Delete. Key equals blank. Expires today. To delete a cookie, you just need to set the value of the cookie to empty and set the value of the expires to a past date. You can do that. Seems simple enough. So yeah, I'm gonna have that open. Okay. Wait. Let me see that example one more time. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's right. Okay, so cookie, and it is called token equals that, and then expires equal. Expires equals I have to pass in an actual. Of course, I can't fucking pass it in. Like, oh, I keep swearing. I'm sorry. Shouldn't just pass it in. But if I use backticks, do that. Date dot minus 1,000,000. Wait a second. 100,000,000. Okay, let's see if that works. So if this is for the logout one. So if we click that button, it should navigate the view to the login page, and it should expire and nullify our cookie. Okay, so let's import that into navbar main.view. So we'll do import navbar score logout dot from go dot view semicolon it there. Let's register this component as navbar dash logout, and it'll be set to navbar logout just like that. Cool. Alright, so what we want to do, we're going to change this to navbar logout. Right? Be all the same. We get the text, got the navigate view, we get the navigate view function with the deletion of the cookie, and should be good to go. Alright, let's see if this works, and we will go from there. Alright, so let's pull up our... Oh, crap. What is going on with that? Hey, it worked. But only slightly. Because I need to, Okay, so what we need to do also is we're going to have to clear out Vuex. Because if we look, even though we're technically logged out because the cookie is gone, pull up... So if we look at the base state, you can see we're still logged in here. That all needs to change. But I think that might be a good spot to call it. So let me do some notes. Do a to-do, and it's going to be move data from Vuex on logout. Alright. And what else? To do fix style display, because I'm tired. I need to get on to, I have a video I still gotta finish editing tonight, and it's going to be a long one. So maybe we'll check in this this weekend. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I don't know. I think all things considered, I think it went pretty well. What I'm gonna do is this. So let's see here. Close that out. Close that out. That out. Thank you. I'll push the code to GitHub. What's AFS-S-06. What did we do? Let's just call it update. Screw it. Get add all, get commit dash m, finished by route, swapped bcrypt for bcrypt.js, cleaned up packages. Good enough for me. So I think that's all we did anyways. I don't really think we did too much more than that. So let's get push dash u origin fsafs dash s06 tab to get the full thing. Push it to GitHub. Bada bing bada boom. Just like that. And let's update this. So git checkout dash b to create a new branch and check it out at the same time. We'll call it fsafs dash c dash 05. Get add all, get commit dash m, finished. Verify to Vuex. Update navbar for logged in nav items and Vuex state stuff. Cool. Wonderful. Yeah, for sure. The nerdy dev has it on point. You really got to understand your HTML and CSS and vanilla JavaScript before you ever start venturing into the frameworks. Otherwise, you're just gonna do more harm than good, because you'll just be so confused. But you know, it doesn't take too much. Just, you know, spend 6 months learning HTML, CSS, and basic vanilla JS. Learn the basic methods or built-in prototypes for everything, so like objects and arrays. Figure out the methods built on those, the ones you'll use a lot. So like higher order functions is a big thing. Alright. Last thing to do is we gotta get push it. -o, -u origin, FSAFS -c -05 verify view. Is that what we really call it? Yeah, okay, whatever. Push it. Okay, let's save it or send it to the chat, and we're gonna call it a night, because I got so much other crap to do at this point. Oh my lord. But it's been a blast hanging out with you guys. I really appreciate all the support that everybody has given me, and all the, you know, views and all that good stuff. Like I said, we'll try to do some, we'll try to go live this weekend, and I can't confirm. I gotta work on Saturday, so it might be kind of busy, but definitely gonna start cranking out some edited content created videos versus just live streaming and stuff too. So shouts on that, and we will catch you, everybody in the chat, on the flip side. So I shared the 2 links for the repos in the chat. They're both up to date. You just need to probably just actually look at the most current branch. So 06 for the server and 05 for the client. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Live Coding with Rabbitwerks JavaScript. My name is Sean, and it's been a pleasure to hang out with you this evening. Make sure to give this video a like if you like the content. Make sure to subscribe if you want to catch all of the stuff in the future. Make sure to check out the channel and learn all about Vue-related anythings, to be honest, because whatever, I'm a Vue fanboy. What am I going to say? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Angular or React. I just like using Vue, so that's what I'm going to do stuff with. Anyways, if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Get a hold of me. Best place to get in contact is the Rabbitwerks Discord server. It's mainly just a messaging app directly to me at this point, but who cares? It's still there. And yeah, Hacktoberfest 2019. Go world. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. It's been a pleasure. As always, my name is Sean. I said that already. We're tuning out. Make sure to check out the repos. Give this video a like if you like it. Subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be notified next time we go live. And yeah. Anyways, this is Sean from Rabbitwerks JavaScript. Remember to stay awesome, keep coding, and no matter where you are in the world, there's always time to hit that semicolon button. Working on new intros. I know that was really bad. So, anyways, we'll catch you on the flip side. Take it easy, people. Have a good night. Peace.